So we're going to go to the bank and we're going to add my business name, your business name. We're going to pause on that. And that's what I told him. He was like, but you are wasting time. We need to go get these cars. We need to go to Genesis. We need to go to Hyundai. We need to get some additional cars. We need to get some other cars that we can rent out. Like right now, we need to go there and get 3 cars right now. And then we need to go to Mercedes to get that Sprinter. At least go do that to get started. We are going to make so much money. I said, okay, I'm going to go with you. Let's go to Genesis. Let's go to Genesis, and we're going to go talk to them. So we go to Genesis. Well, let me go back. I'm sorry, I left one thing out. So when I learned at work, I heard someone else talking to him, actually the CEO, about going to church and going to feed the homeless in their new Lexus. And she said, that's a beautiful car that you bought your wife. Well, I'm like, the Lexus? Oh, yeah, that Lexus truck. It's a pretty gray truck. And I'm like, wait a minute. I keep listening, tuning in, like, what kind of Lexus is this that he driving? He done took them into church. He told me he had to take the Lexus to go let somebody see it because they wanted to rent it. I'm like, wait. Why would you rent it out? Just like the Tahoe. He had tried to rent that out. And then when I told him we weren't ready, he couldn't do it, and then he talked me into it. I said, as long as we could see the transaction, you use your Square for your perfume business, I need to see how that was paid because I want to make sure that we never have a problem trusting each other as partners. Oh, he got so upset with me. He got upset. He said, listen. He said, why are you saying this to me? I said, no, I'm just trying to tell you. The man could pay you $500. And you told me you got paid $2. So you're going to split, you're going to give me $100, but you actually made $4. I said, so what I'm trying to tell you is I want to see everything. I want the whole thing to be transparent to me. If I'm going to be partners, these cars are in my name. I am going to see everything that goes on with this business.
Absolutely.
He said, why don't you trust me? Why are you acting like this? Who has been talking to you? Who have you been talking to? Because you haven't been talking to me that much, and I think that's the problem. I said, you're getting upset. What I'm telling you is what we're trying to prevent. I didn't do anything. I just want to prevent a problem from happening in the future. If we're going to be partners and we're going to trust each other,
absolutely,
it needs to be transparent.
Absolutely.
But he was upset with me. He was not happy. And I felt that. And I'm like, all I was trying to do was tell you how we not have a problem in the future. Okay. So then he tells me, well, he didn't rent the car out. You didn't rent it out. No, he said he was going to bring me cash the next day or whatever. I said, oh, no, well, you tell him you cancel that. We're not doing any cash business at all. So he was upset. And he just said, okay, we're not going to rent it out. That's fine. All right, so back to the Lexus. When I heard that he had been riding around in your Sunday car that you bought for your wife, I was like, that's my car.
His wife.
That's my car. So that's why you took my name out. You said she couldn't see. You were just going to show her the vehicle, but she couldn't see that you were in business with me. So therefore, you took the registration out of the vehicle. I said, no, you can't take that out. Anything happened, when they run the plates, it's coming back to me.
He took the paperwork out the car.
He took the paperwork out the car. So she couldn't see that was not his vehicle. So I heard this, and I asked him, I said, so you went to church with everybody? And he said, well, we just went to church that morning or whatever, just so we could all ride together. I said, oh, okay, and y'all went to feed the homeless. That's really nice. That's good. I mean, that's a good thing, right? I'm glad that they were serving God and feeding the homeless.
In your Lexus.
In my car that he told them that he bought for his wife as a Sunday vehicle. See, he didn't know I was listening to all of that. So I'm taking this in, and I'm like, okay. Then he said, well, there's another lady at the job, and she's a little older. She's been saying that she's not making much money. She's using her savings. And I told her, I said, you know what? You can come work for us. You can work for, well, he said, I told her she could be a driver for us. I said, well, did you say for us? He's like, well, I just said that she could be a driver for my black car business. Your black car business. I didn't hear no partnership in that.
At
I was
all.
like, so really, you got all of this, and I'm not involved.
Yeah. Gemini. Two sides, one vibe. Yeah, we in control. Gemini Code. Jada Gray, Benny Gemini, watch us unfold. Real talk, no filter, let the truth be told. From the heart to the mic, yeah, we break the mold. Tap in, tune in, welcome to the show. Let's go.
So I realized I'm in a business and a partnership where I guess I'm a silent partner. He making decisions, getting drivers, all this for our business, but he's talking to him without me.
You ain't got no say-so on nothing. Don't know what's coming in, what's coming out.
That's what it seemed like. I mean, we hadn't really started, but he's getting it started without me. He's telling me about who could be good drivers, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, she's no lady, okay. But why we can't talk business together? Why are we not doing that?
So at this time, I mean, what are we talking about? What kind of time span? 2, 3 weeks, a month, 30 days? Where are we at?
We're looking at week 3.
Okay,
Week
week
3.
three. 3 weeks.
Week
in.
3, 7 cars, 6
cars.
6 cars.
6 cars in, 5 for the rental. Well, actually, 4 for the rental. 2 were, 1 for me personally, 1 for him personally, all in my name. Right?
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. And so when he said that to me, I'm like, I heard that about the Lexus. Then he's talking to people about hiring without me. Okay. Seems like, I said, so what is your wife going to think that's going on? Well, she's going to know that you work with me, right? You're going to meet her. I promise you're going to meet her. I want her to know you. But she's just going to think we work together. I said, no, so she's going to think I work for you instead of us working together as partners.
Exactly.
Like, these are my cars. So he was like, well, they're my contacts. I said, I don't care about your contacts. I can get contacts. He's like, oh, it's not that easy. I said, we're going to have a proper business. I want a business plan. I want contracts, all of that. Or we're not going to be able to do business.
Transparency.
So something told me that night, go get my car. So I said, I'm going to go get the Lexus because apparently since that's the Sunday car, the wife liked that one, that's the one I want
That's
to
the
bring
one
home.
you going to get.
I texted him, I said, hey, I'm going to get the Lexus tonight. But no joke, let me say, Geico had contacted me because, my man, Benny Gemini, he hooked me up with a great guy.
Man, Benny ain't nobody.
An insurance broker who did insurance for me. And on the spot when we did the insurance, what happened was he was like, well, we're going to go ahead and get the insurance and it'll be in your business name or whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pay the money for it right now. Let's just use my routing number, account number. Well, a few days later, I get an email from Geico that says my payment was rejected. I said, well, now, wait. Why was my payment rejected? He gave me his routing number and account number. Okay. So he said, I don't know why that would happen. He said, I must have given you the wrong one for some reason. I don't know, like, what could I said, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We don't worry about that because I have insurance with them. This is in my name anyway. Don't worry, it's going to come out of my account. You just give me the cash, and I'm going to take care of it today, and that's what I did. He gave it to me. That's what I did. I said, so I know it's going to be taken care of. I'm never going to worry about that because it's going to come out of my account. It's all in my name. That's what it needs to be anyway. Okay. That was number one. And I said, well, let me say, I said number one, but this is the second thing. Third thing, I'm starting to count now because first was he couldn't tell his wife. Then 2, he's hiring people and talking to people about his business without me.
And number 3 was the Sunday.
Yeah, the Sunday car. And now this Geico payment done come back. All these things are starting to happen. I'm like, I already kind of I've been tossing and turning about how much money I am in debt for. He's like, don't worry about that. I got the money for the cars. I'm already saving money for the cars. I'm going to pay the car notes. Don't worry about that. Some told me, say, Self, no, he don't need to pay for nothing for these cars. These cars are in your name. You need to pay for whatever it is on these cars. And so I told him, I said, you don't worry about the cars. I'm going to take care of the cars. The trackers for the cars, I'll get them. I'll do tint the windows on the cars. I'm going to do it. I'll make that happen. These are my cars, so I'm going to do that. So I did that. He says, okay, he let me do it. He was like, all right, fine. But when I told him I had to come pick that Lexus up, he was like, why? I said, well, Geico, now that payment came back, they questioned me, and no joke, they did. They said, hey, so are these cars indeed yours? All these vehicles are yours. So I'm like, I started thinking about that. I'm like, why are they questioning me about that? I never had an insurance company question me, but I never put six cars on insurance, in a week's time frame either. I never did that. So I added them all to that one policy, and that payment came back. So, I mean, of course, you get a new set of eyes on it, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? They said, so you are the owner. You can prove, because they said they want to see now the information that was sent over to the DMV to prove that I am indeed the owner of these vehicles. I said, I need to get my cars and get them parked here. So I went and got that car, and I had told them I was going to pick that one up. When I picked it up, I see it had like 282 miles on it. I said, so why? All I did was drive it from the dealership to his house. It couldn't have been over 30, 40 miles. I'm just going to say 50 just for kicks, right?
Okay.
Just to say that.
Okay.
It had a full tank of gas. All I did was drive it there to the garage, because in the place where he lives, they have a big garage. So parked all the cars there. I said, so why is it, and it's empty. So I texted him and I said, hey, why is the gas going in this car that's got 282 miles on it? He was like, well, I didn't know that you were going to come and get it. And I said, no, you need to pay for the gas. He said, well, if you were coming to pick up the car for me, I wouldn't ask you for gas. He said, so why are you asking, if I were coming to pick it up from you, I wouldn't ask you for gas. So why are you asking me for gas? We're partners. I said, I'm not going to deal with that tonight. I'm going to go and move on. I'm going to move on.
Okay.
But I told my friend, I said, hey, something's telling me I need to get all my cars tonight. So we go one by one, and we got each car.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, and drove them home. I got up at 5:30 in the morning and went and got the fourth one. And I said, I'm not going to get the truck because he drives that. He drives it to work. He drives it to do his purpose. I'm going to talk to him first before I get that one. So I left at 5:30. I went and got that vehicle, and the fourth one, and parked it at home. Okay. He texted me at like 6:37. He said, Nicole, did you move all the cars?
He was freaking out. Them cars gone.
And I said, yes, I did. I said,
Oh,
I'll
wow.
explain to you later. I'll see you a little bit later.
So in his mind, he's probably thinking, where the hell is my gold
He
mine?
freaking out. He didn't look. He woke up and no cars.
My
No
gold
cars.
is gone.
He didn't know. So I'm thinking, there's no way I can do this. This is not done right. He does not have contracts. He does not have a business plan. He does not have all this. All this is in my name. All this is on me. He's talking about partnership, renting out cars, and getting drivers, all that without me. Well, he sounds like a sole partner to me. Doesn't sound like he really wanted to be in the business with me.
Absolutely.
And I think he thought that he was dealing with a woman who was just going to say, okay,
Oh.
because she wanted to be in business. But I know I made a mistake, and I had to backtrack, and I did. I own up to that. But I tell you, I was thinking. And I was like, no way that I want to go on board without this really being fully legit. If it's not going to be legit, we can't do it. So I told him that, and I told him I was waiting on. I said I need to get both keys back. So I met him so we can go to Genesis. We go to Genesis to look at a vehicle. He wanted to get a GV80. It was like, it came up to $101,000 for this car, right? All right. So I was like, all right. He's like, we need this. We need another black car. We got to have it if we really want to run this business properly. I was like, all right, this is going to be the last car I can get for right now. We're going to have to wait on getting another car, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this. I'm going to do this. All right. Genesis said, you have 2 cars on your credit already that you just got recently. Now, he said, mind you, he told me it didn't matter because
He was gonna fix it.
and they have their own bank. So I can go to another dealership that goes to their own bank, not one that's going to be going to other banks to search for financing. So that's why we should go there and go get this car. So I said, okay. They said, well, you're going to have a cosigner. I said, well, okay. So I said, well, we're not going to do this today. This is fine for me. He said, no, okay. They told him that he could do it since he's going to be my partner. He said, okay. So I'm looking like, okay, he going to do this thing. So they pull his credit and they say, oh, well, he can do it by himself. He doesn't have to have you. So
And he got good credit.
Ernest got good credit. I said, well, great. I said, hey, you didn't think you could get any vehicles. You can get the vehicle. I said, and you can start getting more cars. You don't need me for that. We can just stay where we are with the other cars. He was like, okay, he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know what to feel about this. I said, so why? He said, because I don't know if this is going to happen. I said, this is going to the finance man. The finance guy just said that you don't need me to do this thing. They got it. Okay, so they said, now we do need a valid Social Security card because your Social Security number just on this text, this is not going to work. We need to see the card. So because he was from another country, he was from Haiti. And so They said, well, now we can't find your property that you said you own in Florida. You said that you have a mortgage there. Like, those are things that we need to make sure that we see proof of in order to make sure that this is good, that we're going to finance this for you. He said, oh, that's not a problem. You know, he's the owner, blah, blah, blah. But they can't find it on his credit. Okay, all right. So a few minutes later, they said that he's gonna do it for the state of Florida. Florida, you got to pay more taxes instead of using Georgia. But I'm like, well, why would you do that? You're gonna pay more money. I was like, okay, whatever. It's not my business. You do what you're gonna do. So he did it. He told him he wanted this other car that he was gonna get because he was gonna rent it out as a rental. So he's got like $140,000 in cars. He's gonna get one. He's gonna get over here at Genesis. We're gonna go next door to Hyundai. I'm like, I'm out of it. I feel pretty good now. I'm like, ooh, well, he don't have to worry about me. I don't have to worry about adding another vehicle. Okay.
And at this point, so you're thinking like, okay, he's starting to put some stuff in his name.
Yeah, so I'm feeling
maybe
better.
feeling good. You're feeling good about it.
I was overthinking.
Yes,
things.
I really was. I was excited because I was like, now you can add
can see that.
from your part as well, because you said that you couldn't. You said you were maxed out because you have other vehicles. So I was like, okay. This thing might work. Okay, so he was supposed to go pick the vehicle up. Well, that night when we were leaving, I said, hey, so I need my keys to my cars. I need the other key that you have, because Geico needs to see that I got all the keys, both keys to the vehicles. He was like, oh, well, you don't need them now. It's like already almost 6 o'clock, you know, so don't worry about that. You don't need those keys now. So I'm like, okay, he don't want to give me my keys. All right, so on Saturday morning, we have to go to work for our meeting, right? I say, you going to go get the car today? He was like, yeah, I'm going to go get the car at 11. You going to ride with me? I was like, nah, I'm not going to go today. You go ahead. You go take care of that yourself. I said, but I need my keys to my vehicle because Geico is going to come, and I need to make sure that they see that these are mine. He went ahead and gave them to me. I think he was feeling pretty good because he was going to get that car today. He's going to go pick up that Genesis, and he was going to get that other rental car. Well, something happened. Still driving a basic vehicle when you could be driving luxury? Upgrade your ride with Nally Infiniti of Atlanta, where performance meets style and comfort. From sleek sedans to powerful SUVs, they have the perfect vehicle waiting for you. Visit Nally Infiniti of Atlanta at 2550 The Nally Way, Atlanta, Georgia 30360, or shop online at Nally Infiniti of Atlanta. And be sure to tell them the Gemini Code sent you, and don't forget to ask for my boy Benny Gemini. Drive luxury, live elevated. So, he was supposed to go pick up this vehicle at Genesis, so he gave me back the keys. I felt good. I was like, okay, all right, maybe he's all right. He gave me my keys back to the vehicles. He's going to keep the truck. So I tell him, I say, hey, so on the truck, what we're going to do is, since that's going to be a truck that you're going to drive, is in my name, I am going to write a contract. I'm going to have you sign it. And you're going to have to pay me for that vehicle outright.
Absolutely.
And that's the way we're going to do it. I said, because I want business for everything for me. So that's the way I'm going to do it. I'll get your contract by Monday. I'm going to bring the contract. We're going to get that signed. We're going to go get it notarized, all of that. He said, okay, no problem. And so, all right. Saturday night, I start getting messages saying that my credit was being pulled by Genesis, by Hyundai. I'm like, well, now wait. I didn't even go to Hyundai. So how is it that Hyundai is pulling my credit? What's going on? So I said, well, okay, Genesis, I gave them permission to run my credit the very first time on that Friday. So they ran it then, right? So why am I getting notifications now?
So that wasn't a notification from when you did it then. This is a different type. It's being dinged again.
I never went to Hyundai to get financed.
Okay.
Only to Genesis. So I said, so what's going on? I text him and I said, hey, why am I getting, saying that I got credit being ran? I said, I'm getting notifications from different people. Capital One, Credit Karma, all the things that I have monitoring my credit. I know instantly when my credit is being pulled. He said, I don't know. He said, maybe you're going to have to contact them and find out. I don't know what that will be. He said, well, don't worry about it because I'll just erase it from your credit. I said, oh, no. It's not going to work like that. I said, if somebody's pulling my credit, that means somebody gave them permission to do that.
That's right. They sure did.
So I am going to contact each dealership, and I am going to ask, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're telling me you don't know. You don't know. But I'm going to find out.
So either the dealership ran your credit again, but you never went to the Honda play. So you don't need,
No, so this was at Hyundai. What she's saying is
They're family, right?
She's done business. Yeah. She's done business, and after the business, maybe days later, it's being ran again. She's getting dinged.
I'm getting it. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, he went to Honda, used your credit some kind of way to.
Well, at Genesis, I gave them my information.
You gave them the information
that Friday. Saturday, nobody should have been running my credit
should
at
have
all.
been running your credit out.
Right. So why am I getting all these dings showing?
I wonder how did he go in and use your credit online? That's what I'm wondering.
What I asked was, because I called them to find out. And then after I called them, everything didn't match up. They told me they didn't understand because he went next door to Hyundai. They said that the deal that they had with him, they were getting another vehicle because the car that they were getting for him, somebody sold it at that dealership, which was a sister dealership to them, so they didn't get to bring it over. So they had to get another vehicle from Alabama and bring it in. So the vehicle was not going to be there until Monday. But they said that, so they don't know. They said the other car was at Hyundai. They said they never gave Hyundai any information. So why is Hyundai running my credit? And he said he don't know. So I'm like,
At this point,
that dealership had to give me some answers. Somebody got to tell me something.
and at this point, you're smelling a rat.
I'm thinking something is not right? Again, I know he does credit repair and all that, and I'm thinking, you doing something that you're not saying to me.
Did he know you knew your social?
Yeah. He was working on my credit too because we're going to be partners. So he was going to make sure everything was straight on my credit to make sure that I'm doing everything legitly. I can get, really, he wants to make sure I can get approved for all these loans to get them refinanced because he's got to connect. You know, this is what he said. But he's going to make sure everything is good. My credit was good, but it wasn't, like, excellent. I didn't have, like, an 800 credit score or anything like that. But I was in the good 600s.
You were able to get those vehicles.
Oh, but I had established credit, though, so that he's smart as well because he got somebody seasoned and that had credit. And when he saw that, that's what got him excited more than anything because he knew he could go into a dealership and he could sell that. I mean, I'd been with BMW for 16 years. Only reason why I changed is because I was at work at Infinity. My car got totaled out. I was like, why wouldn't I just get a company car? I'm saving lots of money, so let me just get a company car. So that's what I did. But I still had the history. I had history.
And let me guess, every time you buy a car, he gets a referral.
He gets a referral. So then I asked about that. I said, hey, so those referrals that you're getting.
This boy good. This boy good.
I
This
said,
boy
so
good.
you should be splitting those referrals with me because we're business partners. He was like, well, okay, you're right. I can do that. I'll make sure I split them with you. Okay. So he says, well, but I haven't gotten them yet. You could call other people, make sure I haven't gotten them, you know. So I was treated like the secretary. He wanted me to call and make sure he get everything, all this stuff happens. But I wanted to call anyway because I wanted to see what was going on.
Yeah.
With it. But by Monday, he was so mad at Genesis because he didn't get the car. I said, why? He said, well, they sent me the picture. They said that I got the car. The car is mine. He said, but then they said they got to do everything with finance again. He said, do you know what that means? Do you understand? Because I know you were thinking that this was all good. I said, listen, when the finance guy took that into his office and he told you that deal was done, that deal was done. What they needed to change is your VIN. So everything you sign, you're going to have to redo it again. Well, don't think negative. I mean, it's a done deal. So
Hey, you should have hit him with his line. Don't let the enemy trick you.
that didn't even come to my mind. It didn't come to my mind at the time.
That would've been good.
But it would have been. You're right. You're right. So I'm like, don't think anything negative. You're going to get the car. So he says, okay, all right. Well, by that evening, I texted him. I said, hey, did you get the car? He didn't get the car. Why? He don't know. So then he's upset because he said that the guy that worked at the dealership, he was actually Haitian too. Weird. He never dealt with them, he said. He said, but I think that he was against me. I think he did something to make it to where I couldn't get the car. He was like, I'm just so upset and I don't know how to be. And he said, so what's wrong? He's like, you don't understand. This is just taking me back so much. And he was like, you need to bring the cars back because he said, you got to bring the cars back so we can go ahead and run the business. And I said, no. We got to get the contracts done. We got to get the business plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this myself because I see now he doesn't have anything. I'm going to have to do this. If I want it done right, I'm going to have to take
do it
over.
by yourself.
So I gave him the next morning the contract for the truck. I said, all right, we're going to do 1,000 miles a month. You're going to pay me. At the time, I said, you're just going to pay me $1,000 a month, just a little bit over what he was supposed to pay. I said, and then you're going to pay me a security deposit. And then we're going to go get this notarized. And he's like, 1,000 miles a month? I can't do that. He's like, I'm going to be driving now. I got to go to Miami. I got things to do. He's like, I'm going to be going probably 1,000 miles a week. I said, oh, well, no, we're not going to be able to do business. Because I said, that means you are going to take 4,000 miles a month? I said, just think about it. 52 weeks in a year, 52,000 miles on a vehicle. It's brand new.
And the average person drives 15,000 miles.
Yeah.
That's it.
No. If you just do 10 months, 4 times 10 is 40,000 miles.
But if you just do 52 weeks in a year, that is 52,000 miles that you're saying that you're going to drive. And you want to put on the vehicle that's mine. I said, it won't be worth anything. He said, you're buying the car. Yeah. I said, no, but you're leasing the car. Mm-hmm. So that's not going to work for me. I said, I got to go back to the drawing board. Let me go think about this thing and let me come back to you. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I go back and I say, this ain't going to work for me. This man is going to do whatever he wants to do because he's got this vehicle. I don't care what he signs with me. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. I got to get the vehicle back.
And at this point, the light bulb is fully on.
I talked to my friend. She said, friend, you got to get the vehicle back.
You got to get
this isn't going to work. You're right. Get the vehicle back. You get your truck now. I said, well, I don't want to go get it like a thief in the night. I want to tell him because I need to get that key that he has.
You should have pulled up like Catwoman and got that thing.
But I tried.
And all black.
I tried it. I tried it, y'all. I tried it. Guess what? He did a sneaky peek on me because when I went to go get the car in the middle of the night,
he moved it.
He moved it. It's not there anymore.
Ooh, he is on to you.
Damn.
Why is the truck gone? Where is it parked now?
Some of my bitch.
I know. I said no. So I said, okay. I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work. I'm telling them I'm taking a leave of absence. I'm not going to do this job anymore. I have got to worry about these cars. I got to figure out what am I going to do.
I got 7 cars. Else. You got 7,
well,
8
no,
cars.
I had 6 cars. 6 cars.
6 cars.
Include my personal, but I had 5 that I have that, well, the one he was driving and 4 we were going to rent out for black car. I said, well, so listen, this isn't going to work. I get up that morning, I tell him, I said, we're not going to be able to do business. I tapped him on the leg just like that. I said, hey, we're not going to be able to do business. I said, and I've got to talk to them here and let them know that I'm going to have to take a leave of absence and maybe even quitting. And that's going to be it for me. And he was like, well, what are you talking about? We need to talk about this. I said, no. There's no talking. We don't need to talk. I said, so I'm letting you know now. I need you to give me my key and give me my vehicle back. If you don't cooperate, what I am going to do is I'm going to contact the law, and I'm going to let them know I've got paperwork to prove that this is my vehicle.
And the last thing he wants you to do
is call the police.
It's called the law.
But he was like, but there's no need for you to call the police. I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't done anything to you. I haven't put a gun to your head to make you do anything. I said, listen.
He said that?
Yeah, he said all of that. I said, listen. I said, you approached me with trying to make some fast money and with trusting you and trusting God because you prayed for me. You prayed for a partner. But this is not partnership. What you're going to do is you want to take my cars and you're going to run them like you want to run them. I don't even know the people that you're going to have in my cars. No, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't feel good to me. If I'm going to be a partner, I am going to be completely in on everything that's going on. Or we cannot be partners. I said, so I know now.
Yeah. Gemini. 2 sides, 1 vibe. Yeah, we in control. Gemini Code. Jada Gray, Benny Gemini, watch us unfold. Real talk, no filter, let the truth be told. From the heart to the mic, yeah, we break the mold. Tack in, tune in, welcome to the show.